Hey, we're live. All right, well, that wasn't too bad at all, guys. I have to say that finish, and I did not have anything together as far as tools, so I had to go round up tools. Couldn't find a couple tools, so it took an extra long time because it's kind of those sockets that you never use. You always use a 10 millimeter. I had two or three 10 millimeters on standby and didn't need one 10 millimeter. Needed a 12 millimeter to loosen up the what you call it, the foot peg. Get that out of the way, and 8 millimeters to split the case. And I think that was it. I needed a big screwdriver and some uh, rubber mallet. That's a dead blow. They call what I call a dead blow, full of sand, and a regular hammer to give it a little tap here and there. Probably shouldn't use those, but I needed something narrow to get in there. So let's see. I turn that volume up all the way, make sure you guys can hear me. I wanted to show you though the pickup, or the, gosh, what do they call it? There's different names for it, but your magnet goes past here, and that sends a signal to your CDI, which also sends the spark to your spark plug. That's how that works. Every time the motor goes over, it runs past, a magnet passes over this, which sends a pulse. That's actually the word, pulsar, I think is what some people call this as well. But it's in there with your stator. So your stator is actually sending power back to your battery. So you'll get about 15 volts out of that. So you can keep your battery charged. This little guy is the culprit if the CDI is not your problem. With CDI, I changed first because that's your first go-to. And everybody says that's usually the problem. Well, on mine, it was not the problem. And I confirmed that today. So what I did here, guys, to check is get yourself one of these testers. It picks up continuity. And that's that symbol right there. And I can, let's see, how's this one work? You hit the mode, and one more, there it is. So that little symbol there is going to make it sound. So essentially that means you're completing a circuit. So if we do this, touch those together, it's going to beep. So we can use that. I use this in the electrical trade. See, this is a wire. Okay, and I'm trying to find if there's a short in a wire, and I need to know it goes in the wall. It's so hard to do this one-handed. Maybe I can do it like this. There we go, maybe. I don't know if I can get any continuity through there, and the phone's flipping screens on me, but you guys get my point. Maybe I can do it like this. This is just as easy. There we go. Gosh bless it. Get them same length. Well, you were just talking to me. There you go. So that's just like touching them together. You guys got that, I'm sure. Pretty easy to understand. So to make sure this part was right, what I did was I touched this little guy where the magnet hits, and I went to ground essentially, because these get screwed into the case. Screws go through there, and that attaches. So what I did was I touched this, and I can't remember. See if I can set this on the test. Maybe you guys can get a view. I need both hands to do this. Stay there, phone. Move a little closer. Maybe that'll help. There we go. All right. So if we go to here, see that? There's continuity in between there, guys. You guys can't see me. I can go on the other side. There you go. So there's continuity. These are touching. All I'm doing is doing that. On the new one, it did not do that. There was no continuity. So that told me that that was the problem. So if you guys are trying to check your pickup to see if it's wrong or if it's, failed on you, that was something that I noticed between the new part and the old part. So I hadn't seen anything like that on YouTube. So I wanted to share that for somebody who might be trying to figure out if their pickup is right. The other thing is the stator charges your battery, as I said. That runs through this guy. So you can check this. You turn it over and you should be getting around 14 volts, give or take slightly, definitely over 12 because it charges your battery. This here sends spark. So this goes back into the case. I'm going to put all these bolts back in here, make sure they're all in the correct spot. And an old trick, this is what I do. That's my top bolt in the motor because they're all different lengths, guys. And these two here go into this plastic. So I just put them to the side. They go in this guy here. There and there. So that's how you keep track of your bolts. And that little test that I just showed you with a little continuity tester will show you if your pickup is bad or good. So to me, it looked like somebody had been in there. The gasket looked new, so I took a chance on not buying another gasket, and it bit me in the butt. I should have just bit the bullet and bought another gasket, but we got a little tear right up in here. So it's on the top side. Hopefully it won't leak. I'm just going to put it back together. It really wasn't that big of a deal. When you pull this thing apart, you just want to keep tapping on this. That's the key. That's your shifter. Just make sure you're tapping in on that when you're pulling this out, or things are just going to fly different places, but not difficult to put it back together the way it was. Just your shifter will have to be put back into place, but nothing fell apart on me. I'm truly amazed how easy it was. So yeah, piece of cake. I didn't even need to take this apart, but there was some water in them, so that allowed that stuff to dry out for the last couple of days while I was waiting on the part. And hopefully we are going to fire this puppy up tonight. I do believe, since we had the continuity checker and tested that all out, we found a different situation, both parts, continuity and not having continuity. So I'm pretty jazzed. I think this puppy's going to fire up tonight. So we need to get this all put back together properly. It may or may not leak oil. If it does, we'll just have to pull it back apart. It only took a couple hours. I started about actually it was 12:15 when I started, and I was back to this point probably by 2 o'clock. And like I say, it took me a while to find a couple tools I was searching for. So honestly, a guy could probably knock this out in an hour with a rattle gun and just getting on it and not messing around. It's kind of cold here too, so you gotta always put that in the diffactor. But if you're doing it on a beautiful day, honestly, a guy could probably knock that out in an hour, put it back together, throw the screws back in there, and zap them in. They should be torqued. I'm not going to torque mine because my gasket's all screwed up anyway at this point. So we're just going to throw it back together because it may have to come back together apart anyway. But hour and a half, pretty much anybody could do this job. Just be careful and take it apart slowly. And it really honestly wasn't that bad. I was expecting it to be a little bit harder myself. So I'll fire up another stream here in a little while, and we'll see if this baby's going to run. I need to get the fuel tank back on. That's over here, guys. I think I did show on another clip, but I don't know if I erased that or not. But I thought it was done, but I'll share with you a secret. If you're dealing with a metal tank, Let's see. I don't know if I turned that on or off, but it's coming now. I must did something. Let's see if we can see in there, guys. Look at that. Yeah, still a little tiny bit of surface rust. But I'm going to tell you guys, this thing was so bad. It was bad, bad. So I didn't think there was any hope for it. I really didn't. And it really came back around. So I did get some other stuff. I did some research on this red dot or something like that. I want to stain it. But I had new tires put on the Honda. And the mechanic there said he never had any luck with sealing tanks. But all the reviews on it, I'm pretty sure it's called Red Dot, are really good. But he said he's never done it. He puts a little bit of diesel and a bottle or a half a bottle, and I had a big bottle, so I put a half a bottle in there. So we got a small bottle of 91% rubbing alcohol and a little bit of diesel, and you put that in there right after you get finished doing a rust treatment, and that just kind of puts a oil over the tank to keep it from rusting. And that's kind of what I did. And my secret, what I ended up using, I let it soak for probably 2-3 weeks, to be honest. It was quite some time, but it was frozen because it's frozen outside. It's freezing at night. It's wintertime. So that probably didn't help it, of course. But I used distilled vinegar. Just let it soak in the tank for a few weeks. And I'd shake it just about every day. And it really did not do it much good, I have to say. Like I say, that inside that tank was bad, 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 real bad. So let it soak for a few weeks, and I dumped it all out. It still didn't look good, so I used muriatic acid. I rinsed it all out with a water hose, got as much I could get out, and then I poured in probably a pint or a quart, somewhere between a pint and a quart of muriatic acid. And probably in there 3-4 minutes. Put the cap on, shook it up, and rinsed it out. And that stuff is extremely dangerous. So be warned. You should use baking soda to neutralize it after you're done. I dumped it out and neutralized it with some water and baking soda when I dumped it into a pan just to neutralize it, and then got rid of it. So it really brought that tank back around. I was truly impressed, and I just wanted to share that with you too, on top of testing the pickup and knowing if your pickup is good or bad. So I'm going to get this puppy put back together. We're going to get some fuel in this new carburetor I stuffed on it, and I think we're going to have this puppy put back together and running for about $1,000. We paid $500 for it, and we're right at about $500 in it, including brand new tires. So if it wasn't for the tires, we would probably only be into it $150 or so, less than $200. I'd say everything. We paid $35, I think, for the new carburetor. Came with an air filter, spark plug, some other things. I think it was an oil filter it came with as well. Then we paid $80 for a high output CDI, so that should put out extra spark. And then we paid, I think it was about $35, I want to say, also for the pickup that I replaced today. And with doing that continuity check, it's telling me we're going to have spark this afternoon. So about 3 o'clock, I want to say, and I need to get this puppy thrown back together. So we're going to do that, guys, and I will give you a holler back this evening, probably in a few hours. The sun's going down, and probably sooner than that as far as the sun going down. I think the sun goes down about 5 now, so hopefully I got enough time to get this puppy back together. I probably won't have time enough to get the tank back on, but we got a temporary tank off a generator, so that's what we'll do. We'll get it started, and I'll go live again to hopefully show you guys that we can get it started tonight. So that's our key. Get it running. I got to get some oil back in it because I had to change the oil. Our spark plug needs to be put back together. It's just dangling over there. Get the boot back on and get everything plugged back in, case put back together, blah, 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 blah. So, all right, we'll see you guys in a few hours, and hopefully this puppy's running.